I am a teacher. I teach kindergarten up to grade 8. So I'm very familiar with grade 6 and 7 material. And just like what he said, we're mostly going to be focusing on grade 7 material, which is very good for Tina because she's in grade 7 already. But for Jingda, you will get a head start. We're going to cover material that you will be looking at next year. So it will help you next year, but it will also help you build on your writing and reading for grade 6 as well. Okay, so let's actually jump right in. So a lot of times when I'm teaching, at any point you feel like you don't understand, don't hesitate to put up your hand and ask. Type in the chat even. I'm always looking at the chat to make sure people might be typing or writing in something. Since it's a group class, it's okay for you to, are you guys familiar with the Zoom tools? You all know how to write on the screen and everything?
Yeah.
Awesome. So that is always an option, or the chat is always an option. Okay. So we're going to be talking about something called sensory details today. It's something that will really improve your writing, whether you're in grade 6 or grade 7. Of course, if you're in grade 7, you will be writing more in detail. But in grade 6, you're also expected to start using more advanced vocabulary. So we're just mostly focusing on sensory detail today. Okay, so a writer's goal is to help readers see, hear, smell, feel, or taste what is being described. So whenever you're reading something, your writer, if they're doing a good job, you should be able to use your five senses to understand what they're saying. So writers use sensory details or details that appeal to the reader's senses in their description. So the more detailed you are, the better writer you are. And that's what you're aiming to do, right? That's how you get those good grades. So here are just a list of words. Obviously, I don't expect you to memorize any of these or to know every single word, but some words that you might not use every day, but you might want to use in your writing to impress your teachers. So for example, I'm not going to go through all of them because that would take too much time. Colossal. You might not use that word every day, but you might use it in your writing. You're trying to describe something very big. What else do we have here? Spongy. I personally don't really use this word every day, but you can definitely use it in your writing to describe maybe something you're eating or something that you're playing with. We got bizarre, a fancier word for weird. We also got opaque. You might use this word a lot in science if you're describing like an experiment. Got the word gushy. Maybe you're describing how something feels. You got blurred, sloppy. All these different types of words that you might not use every single day, but you might want to use in your writing to help describe what you're trying to help the reader imagine. Okay, so I have 5 sentences. Well, there's only 3 on this page, but there's 5 sentences that we're going to take a look that will describe each of the senses. So first we have sound. The wind swirled around our beach house, whistling loudly to a terrible tune. So you're going to notice that certain words are colored and bolded. Why are they bolded and colored? They're special words that help you describe the sound. So we've got swirl. So it helps you imagine the sound going around a room or a place. Whistling loudly, you can hear like it's a whistle sound, and terrible. So you don't only just use one special word to describe a sense. You use more than one word. That's okay too. Then we got sight. The streets glistened like shiny ornaments after the rain. So if you want to be a good writer, Compare things. Streets glistened like shiny objects. The very key word in here is like. You're comparing two things. You're helping your readers imagine what something looks like. So if you want to impress your teachers, compare it to something. Okay. Let's keep going. Smell. The baking cake filled the kitchen with aroma of vanilla. So again, you're not just smelling something, the whole smell is filling up a kitchen. Then we got touch. The puppy's nose was dry like sandpaper. So again, we're comparing using the word like. And in taste, I picked the sweetest and juiciest strawberries. So you can kind of see the types of words that you could use to describe different senses. So we're going to do a little bit of practice now. So now that we have some examples, we're going to start off with three senses: sound, sight, and smell. I want you to write a sentence that describes each of the senses. So you can either write on the screen, okay, you can either type or write or type in the chat, okay, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Okay, do we have any questions on what we're doing here? We're okay so far? Take as much time as you need. We have a lot of time. Let me know at any point if you have any questions.
Do we do sight and smell too?
Yep, do all three of them. I'm getting some really good responses so far. Keep going, guys. Guys are doing good. Keep going. I'm just saying a couple more responses for some people. So I'm going to give you guys maybe another 5 minutes. If you guys are done, those of you who are done, just sit and chill for a little bit. More minutes for friends who are finishing up. Okay, I have everyone's responses now. Overall, everyone gave me good sentences. They're grammar-wise, they're all perfectly fine. The only thing I want to point out is just make sure your words, the words you pick, make sense for your sentence. So if I just go back to the example, let's just look at taste. So taste uses sweet and juiciest to describe strawberries, right? These words make sense because a strawberry can be sweet and juicy. So make sure your word works for the thing you're describing. Okay. If you're doing comparison, so for example, touch, the nose is being compared to sandpaper, which doesn't seem like it has anything to do with a puppy's nose. But because you're making a comparison, it's okay now. Now it makes sense because you're making a comparison. Okay, so make sure your words make sense for the thing you're describing. Okay, we're gonna try the last two. So for touch and taste again, you can either write on the screen, draw on the screen, or in the chat.
你也抽？小孩不能抽烟。
当然要给我报销。
我可以，
要就要报销。
你的药。
哎，三子，明天要喝咖啡吗？
就吃一个早餐不开吗？
黑咖啡，然后中午
你看这身材，我操！你看，
给我杀一杯。
哇，我
我
操，
有
有料。
健身痕迹的那种。
小杯便宜2块钱。好，三子，明天要咖啡。
我姐要不要给你买上？
哎，要不然
想喝别的，
喝点别的吧。好的，是我介意。
喝完了，
喝什么？
那个还有是一定要的，对吧？它就继续。
它的杯口为什么
6个中杯，然后1个牛奶，
有一些奇怪的固体？
这个怎么样？
没漏人。
它有点多。
小吴像今天
能喝完吗？
你要是这样，
喝得完。有什么东西喝不完，姐姐？
我还行。
来吧，这给我。当然我也不知道。
我帮你。我操你妈！坐人狗头上了。
罗翠。
哎。
我们7点出发，然后他半个小时坐7
2个字罗翠。
7点出发就行。还有做的很好。
你睡觉呗。
一个人把这些事都做了，肯定是很累。咱们虽然导购，但是咱自己也得累。是。哎呦我，
你们都吃饱了吗？
饱了。
我也吃饱了。
你们喝完了吧？都是冰是吧？
但是我不吃，不会吃。好。我烤气泡去而且。
气泡不是上头吗？
是啊。好了，好喝吗？
没喝呢。虚晃一下。
酒味重吗？不重，但是气泡就是蜜桃气泡饮料。酒味。就是汽水。这看你咋喝。
汽水，蜜桃饮料，汽水。哇，好多鸽子啊！Max 有追过鸟吗？
有啊，我靠，有兔子，噌就出去吃过去。
原来他喜欢吃小兔子。
是有点。
听起来有点可怕。不会是有人的闹钟吧？真是肮脏。设了闹钟不管闹钟的人是最肮脏的。
对。
真是太肮脏了。怎么又听见震动声？我错觉，不好意思。
上床了。辉哥还挺能喝的吧？辉哥挺能喝。原来我俩干一瓶酒。你们俩怎么？对，我俩干红酒，在我打游戏。
Okay. Okay, got it. I'll just double check, making sure. Steven, if you're there, I'm just missing you, okay? I'm just missing some sentences from you. Okay, so we're gonna move on. So now that we're done with the sentence practice, I have a paragraph here. Does anyone feel comfortable reading this paragraph out loud? Any volunteers? At all, Tina?
Like the entire page?
Yep, just that whole paragraph on the left side.
I went to one of those mega stores in the other day. You know, the kind that has groceries on the one side and everything else ever invented on the other. In spite of the fact that neon signs hang from the ceiling above every 5 feet, I was lost in the minute I stepped in. I wandered around so long looking for a yellow wastebasket for my bathroom that I got hungry. Fortunately, a spicy scent led me to the cafe. After a grilled chicken sandwich and a tall, cold glass of sweet iced tea, I was ready for more wastebasket hunting. A whirring sound told me an employee was approaching on a scooter. As she changed her mind, though, her backup beeps faded down aisle
Mm-hmm.
37, and there was my basket. Success at last, and it took only 3 hours.
Okay, thank you, Tina. Excuse me. So what you're doing here is you're picking words that tell us about the five senses. Okay, so you're going to pick words that tell us what we see. So that includes color, some lights, objects, obviously. That's the most obvious one. So you're going to list 3 words for each of the senses, again, in the chat or on the screen, whatever you feel more comfortable with. And then, hear, smell, touch, and taste. Okay, so 3 words for each sense. Do we understand what we have to do? Yes, okay, I'm seeing some nods. Good. At any point you're confused, let me know. And then also make sure you're labeling what you're listing. So if you just type in the chat an example. So if you're giving me sight words or C words, you can do C and then colon and then list out the 3 words like that. Okay? Go ahead, let me know if there's any issues.
Is it like the describing words in the paragraph?
Yep, from the paragraph, only in the paragraph. You guys are doing good so far. Keep going. I'm gonna give you guys like another 5 minutes for this one. 2 more minutes for those still working. All right, I'm just going to talk about it. It's okay if you're not done. Just send what you have. So for those of you who caught on to the word neon for C, sight, good job. This is a word that a lot of students tend to miss. So good job if you did catch it. And then of course, if you got things like yellow, wastebasket, those are people, even if you put down aisle 37, if you put down mega stores, those are all really great answers. So that's for sight. Here people wrote down the whining, whirring sound. Beep is a really great word. All those are really great words for hearing. For smell, there's a lot of words for smell. People put down. Let me see. Mostly words from the sentence here. A grilled chicken sandwich and a tall glass of sweet iced tea. Same, I'm gonna put smell and taste together, okay? Words from those sentences were great. And then touch, people wrote a variety of words for touch. You would be touching things probably like the wastebasket. So if you put down the wastebasket, that would make sense. Sometimes there's not enough words. Oh yes, and cold's a very great word too for touch. Sometimes you might not find enough words for each of the senses. And that's okay. Sometimes you're reading a passage that might not have all 5 senses. Okay, we're gonna move on. So we have another passage here. Do we have any volunteers that feel comfortable reading this one? This one's about camping, if any of you guys are interested in camping. Jingda, are you awake? Or are you sleeping over there, buddy?
I'm tired.
You're tired, right? I know it's getting very late. We're almost done. We're like 10 minutes-ish. Ryan, do you feel comfortable reading this paragraph?
Okay. The savory bacon was just the right amount of sweet and salty. After breakfast, we grabbed our new bright red fishing poles and went fishing along the rocky bank of gently flowing river. We nearly fell asleep to the soft babble of the flowing water. With our bellies full and the wind gently combing through our hair, it was the perfect storm. Then out of nowhere we were shaken from our daze by a loud splash in the water. He quickly looked to where the sound came from, and there it was. It stood 10 feet high, with long light brown hair and paws bigger than the size of my face. It was a bear. We stood motionless, with eyes wide, and not knowing to what to do. I could feel my heart pounding, hoping it wouldn't jump out of my chest and disrupt the bear. The bear continued to grab at the water until out came a slippery red colored fish. After he got his fill, he made his way back up to the mountain. It was awesome.
Thank you, Ryan. So same thing. This is the last paragraph. We're going to practice finding sensory words. We're going to find words that describe the 5 senses again. So same thing what you did before, but you're just using a different paragraph, okay? Just try your best. I know it's getting very late. Just see what you can do. If you can only pull out even one word, it's okay too.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot find any words for smell.
Ooh, smell would be a hard one for this one. So it's okay if you can't find a word for each of the senses. If you can't find any, just leave it blank.
Okay.
Sometimes we go to places that might not have a specific sense activated. Okay, so I'm just going to reiterate or repeat what there's a little bit of confusion what we're doing. So what you're doing is, I'm not saying everyone's unsure. We just have a friend who's not very sure. I'm just going to explain it. Okay, so what you're doing is Ryan did a very lovely job of reading the paragraph out loud. Excuse me. What you're doing is you're picking out words that tell us about the senses. So I'm going to steal one of Tina's answers here. So for example, for touch, Tina picked the word rocky and slippery, which are both really great words because they're words that you would describe touch. So you would just write rocky and slippery. I'm just trying to find the words right now. Slippery is here. So all you're doing is you're picking out words that describe each of the senses, okay? Thank you, whoever underlined rocky for me. So, and then earlier I also explained you might not find a word for every single sense. So for example, smell, you might not actually smell anything. Sometimes maybe you smell like fresh air, but there's not really any words that might describe that. So it's okay if you leave it blank. Okay. So all you're doing is picking out words that describe the five senses. Okay, so while we're finishing that up, I'm just going to quickly show you what your homework looks like because we're almost at the end of class. Okay, so this is what your homework looks like. It's a bit more writing because you will have more time off screen than on screen. So what you're doing is you're going to think of a store that you have recently shopped at. Could be any store, grocery store, clothing store, toy store, computer store, doesn't matter what store. You're going to imagine that you were there. Was it a huge grocery store or was it a small shop full of scented candles? What was it like? Imagine yourself in the store. Can you describe the experience so that a reader feels as if he or she is there right now? So you're going to record words that describe the store for the five senses again. Okay, once you do that, you're going to put it into a paragraph. I don't expect you to fill up every single line, but try your best to at least write a sentence for each of the senses, okay? Of course, if you can write more, that would be great. Do we have any questions on what you have to do for homework? So all you're doing is thinking of words that describe your store for the 5 senses, and then you're putting into a paragraph describing your experience at the store. Kind of like what we did today. We looked for words and then there's a paragraph. But that's pretty much it for today. Do we have any questions about anything that we talked about? I know it's so late. So I'm still really glad that you guys put in your effort where you could. I'm not seeing anyone's hand up so far, so we're okay, no questions at all. If not, I'm gonna let you guys go. Have a lovely weekend. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.